My hat! Alright, so to continue on to the next step, so right now, just to show you, we are on step 8, so bag 2, step 8. Bag 2, step 8. Again, if we look at this here, there's an update for the hardware that we're supposed to use, and it shows the arms. So it'd be this section over here, this section over here. It says bag 2.2, that's the update, bag 2.2. It's the same exact hardware. I do not understand why they need to mention this. The bag is inside of bag 2. I have no idea. Plus, some of the stuff is a mess. So right now for this part, I need 10mm screws, and I do not have any more 10mm screws from the previous bag. So I'm opening up bag 3, even though I'm still in bag 2. I'm going to pull 2 10mm screws out of this bag. And there is, well, might as well pour this bag out. It's going to be the one that I'm going to use on the, for next time. Yeah, this brings back memories from building that 6.1. Some time ago, a long time ago. But anyway, these here, those are the 10. And then if there are any doubts, always measure. But yep, those are 10mm. These are 8mm. But according to the instructions, I need 10mm, so I have to go into bag 3 to find them. So that's something to keep in mind. And at this point, I don't know why they added that. It seems pointless. Maybe they should just organize the screws a little better. But like I said, if this truck is as good or better than the 6.1, it will be a very good truck. The 6.1 was a very good truck. But here we go. So we're going to need 14mm. 14mm are here. Now these I'd already measured. 14mm are going to go back here. 10mm are going to go in the front. So this will simply key in here, which is very nice. This just fits right in. There's no possible way of mistaking how far forward or how far back. It just fits in. The bottom is conical, so it just seats properly. Now these braces here, I never broke one on the other truck, so I'm expecting the same thing. And then again, I never, well, I mean the bumper generally. Bumpers, you may actually break this right here on the bumper. That's probably why bumper was doing its job. I guess you could break it if you don't run a bumper. If you want something lighter, maybe you're an expert driver and you want something lighter. That's a possibility. But not I, said the fly. We'll be running a bumper. Plus the bumper's part of the look. And I'll place this one first and I'll tighten the other one. Here's the camera swing. It's the table. Need a firmer table. Alright, let's finish off the other one. Alright, still need to tighten one more. Oh, there, now I can feel it. For those of you wondering why I got rid of the 6.1, I don't know. It was a mistake. I thought I wasn't going to race anymore because not many people do short course over here. Well, carpet, for example. And, who cares? Even if I lose, if I have to run against the buggies, let it be. If I take a short course, maybe the next guy will bring a short course next time. So don't give up your short course. That's the moral of the story. All right, great. So this is now mounted. Now that it's mounted, we can deal with the arms. Now, one important thing here is if you look at this piece, there is a rounded side. So there's a smooth rounded side, and then there's a sharp side. And the rounded side is actually polished more. The other thing too is if you flip it right in the edge, you can't tell here in the camera. See if I block some light, maybe not really. But the way this is cut, the bottom is not as smooth. So that's the sharp edge. The sharp edge, that's the part you want to put toward the back. So it'll go here. And then the rounded edge is going to go forward. So that's something to keep in mind. Now the arms, one of the things that you will notice on the arms is the arms have that little notch that goes up and rear. So if I place the truck this way, this will go here. It'll go just like that. And then once you have that, you can just go ahead and grab a pin and you can just slide the pin in. And these arms, I actually reamed them prior, so that's something else that you may want to do. If you don't have a reamer, you can just use a file and then just run the file through there just lightly and turn it as you do. That's just so that the arms move freely. And again, there's that little notch. So the notch is going to go up and rear. And these arms, if you look at them, they look the same. There's no difference between, now that I think about it, so the notch doesn't really matter. Just make sure it's pointing back. So other than that, it looks uniform. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and grab the other pin. And so the great thing is I had to prepare the sway bar, get the sway bar ready, but still I haven't had the need to mount it on the directions. Just something else. I don't understand why they would place it in that bag. In bag 2, they should have just placed it in bag 3, it seems. Well, here, I'll see. Maybe I do use it now. And I'm already complaining ahead of time. All right, let's see. So for these here, now they're, let me just double check. So according to these two pieces of instruction, I'm going to use the 4mm. All right, so M2 4mm. This is the hard, no, actually that's for the back. That's so they don't back out. That goes in the arms. That goes back here. So those are the short screws in bag 2.2. That's exactly what the manual says. So again, I don't understand why. They're just telling me it's in bag 2.2. I mean, you can figure that out. It's in bag 1. I guess they just want me to have something extra to read, possibly. Could be it. And the purpose of these screws here is these screws will hold the hinge pins from backing out. That's their jobs. As you can see, as I'm tightening this out, it's moving the hinge pin forward. And I mean, that's all they do. Here goes the other one. So here I will exaggerate this. I'm going to push this hinge pin further out. There, so you can see how it's out. So as soon as you start driving this in, it'll just move the hinge pin forward. So that's the purpose of these screws. Do not lose these screws. That's it. Also, make sure they're snug. Do not over tighten those. You do not want those stripping. But that is it. That's how the arms will be fitting. And once you have completed that, now there should be, yes, 2 set screws. And I don't understand why I have 2 different color set screws. I get an aluminum set screw and then a steel one. I don't understand why. Strangest thing. Well, for me anyway. But these will simply go in these 2 holes, and that will just hold the hinge pins in place. All right. Do not over tighten. That seems too tight. This is loose. I'll ream this one once I'm finished with the build. This one's fine. This one you can see feels a little tight. Actually, maybe because this is holding it. Hold on. Oh, interesting. Well, let's see. Go ahead and place this one here. So this was too tight, so it was pushing the pin down against the arms. That's probably what was happening. So I just backed it out a little. See, so back it out. There we go. Now if I tighten this one, we're good. That's fine. All right, that's enough playing around for that. And at this point, we can go ahead and install the bumper. Now the bumper, these here are going to be holding those from coming forward, which is the other reason why you should run the bumper. There we go. And you will be using different screws for this. So in the bottom, so right here holding these, you will use 16mm screws, which are these screws. It's the long screws that you have left. You already used the 14, although the 14s were not countersunk, so these are the only countersunk screws that you will have left. And these will hold the bumper onto everything else. So this goes through the bumper, through the bulkhead. Very important. Right, that is close. And here goes this one. All right. And now go ahead and install these two over here. And those two are just 10mm screws, which I will go into bag 3 so that I can find two 10mm screws. And there they are. And they are just regular 10mm screws. And again, after a while, you'll get used to them. It's easier to tell them apart when they're with other screws, but these are the 10mm screws. Go ahead and place one. I'll try to place one. Or if I put it on the driver, it'll be easier. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Now, once in a while, you can find these actually for, well, maybe not the 6.2s, but the 6.1s, maybe not as much anymore. But when the 6.2 was announced, there were a few people that were selling their 6.1 just to get the 6.2s, and you could get these for a pretty low price. And adding the sway bars to the 6.1 isn't that expensive. I mean, they're probably, I don't know, $20 perhaps. So that's quite a deal. Don't need a 6.2. 6.1, like I said, is very similar. Here we go. Unless you want the latest and the greatest. Great. So here we go. So we are finished with all the steps in bag 2. That was the completion of step 9. Thank you so much.